So this is just a simple street drawing with 3 colours I'm using here. It's sketched with a fountain pen, so it's ink and watercolour. So let's start with the drawing stage. And then for this one, what I'm doing is I'm going straight in with my Kaweco Sport fountain pen. Now this gorgeous little picture of home Firth it's a doozy. It's a real cutie. And if you'd like to win this, then stick around and I'll tell you how you can win this at the end. Now the reason why I'm starting on the left-hand side is because I'm right-handed, obviously, so I tend to work from left to right in the same way that I write from, left to right. Normally I would start on the top left-hand corner and then work my way down to the bottom right-hand corner. But here I've decided just to actually start with some of the components that are actually in the foreground. So the items that are going to be obscuring effectively what's behind it. So really what I'm doing here is I am summarising. I'm not doing every single detail on these buildings. In fact, sometimes I might miss out a window. Sometimes I might miss out a whole row of windows. I think here I missed out pretty much a whole building, but that doesn't matter. If you look at the reference image, you'll see that it's a little yard in Home Firth, quite famous because on the right hand side is the cafe from the Last of the Summer Wine series. You might recognise it, you might not. That series is getting a bit old now, so. But one of the things that I think is important to try and capture in this scene is the sense of perspective. You're looking up to some steps there, and there is a bit of scale to this yard. It's not a small space. But also what I'm doing is, before I've even put pen to paper, I'd made a decision about where the detail was going to be, how much detail I was going to put on there and what I was going to show and what I wasn't. I think often with these sketches, the temptation is to try and show it all. And if you have a reference drawing that you like, just take a slice of it. You don't actually have to do the whole drawing at all. You can just take a tiny element. Previously, I've actually taken slices off my own artwork. I've done a drawing and I've thought I really like that element, that bit there on that side. And it's gone from A3 to, A4 because I've just chopped half of it off. So don't be afraid to, to start the sort of censoring process with the reference image. So really, I'm just zoning this in now. I'm saying that this square here is roughly where that is going to be, and this square here is where that's going to be. And obviously, the buildings have a lot of detail on. There's a lot of signage and, shop fronts and things like that. But I'm not really getting too bogged down with that sort of detail, really. I'm just trying to keep it quite simple. Another thing about this is it's only 6x4. It's a small sketch, so you're not really going to be able to put a lot of detail on unless you're being particularly, slow and particularly with where you put your lines. And that's not necessarily the way that I enjoy working the most. Is I quite enjoy being a bit loosey-goosey. So really now it's just a case of adding in the floor area. I'm exaggerating the perspective really in the paving stones there, and that's just to try and give that sense of distance. Jar of diamonds.
What?
Oh, almonds.
Oh, that's almond. Yeah, that's...
You want the Goblet of Fire? The actual Goblet of Fire?
No.
Oh, illustrated version.
I want the book.
Not the actual goblet.
No, I do not actually want the actual goblet.
So the final stage of the line work really here is just to add in a little bit more line thickness just around the main kind of elements of the building to create a bit of separation between the sort of foreground and the background. It's a stylistic thing as well. I quite like it. So I'm going to put a bit more of a thick line around the building on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to do the same with the... I'm also taking the opportunity here of blacking in some of these windows, and I like that. It's quite a contrasty sort of vibe, but it also means that when it comes to minimising elements of the painting stage as well, it kind of means that you can just put paint right over the top of it. And then I'm going to do a little bit of work on the right-hand side there once I've finished darkening the areas in the extreme sort of foreground, if you know what I mean. So use the building on the right as well. I'm going to put a bit of a line around that, and that's going to help just to pull that forward a little bit, demarcate certain element. highlight some of the, or low light some of the more areas that I want to pop out, like the lantern there and that downspout of the drain pipe, and then this area here on the right, just to show that there's a bit of separation between those components, you know. So the final bit of the line work process here is actually just filling in those window blanks, because again, I don't want to go in and paint a reflection in those windows. I'm not going to be painting it in with watercolor afterwards. This is a pretty straightforward, you know, loose sketch, so it's easy at the drawing stage here just to fill in those window sort of black areas. So for my colours here, I'm going to be using primarily 3 tones. I'm going to be using this natural sienna, which is the blob of yellow looking paint, and then the blob of the sort of dark looking paint that you see above it is my Van Dyke brown, and then I'm going to be using just a blue, which in this case is going to be an India thorn blue that I can mix into all those different colours to create a sort of shadow element, if you know what I mean. So that's the 3 colours. We've got a blue, a brown and a yellow, really. So how is that going to work in terms of our application? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a wetted area, which is going to be the primary buildings in front of us, you know, those 3 buildings. So this is a Daniel Smith colour. It's Monte Amaita Natural Sienna. It's got a funny name, but it's pretty similar to a sort of raw sienna, or even like a yellow ochre. And then, of course, I'm breaking my rules completely here by adding in some green. So, yeah, I thought I'd add in a couple of colour pops of green for the foliage. Now, while this is still a little bit wet, what I'm doing is I'm going in with a bit of that Van Dyke brown. And that is to create a sort of dark area a bit further back. I'm not 100% sure how much shadow I'm going to put in to this drawing, really, at the moment. I might add in some quite sort of dark shadows. I'm not sure. But what I want to do is just create some gradiented areas where, you know, it's still wet in wet. You've got colours sort of morphing from one place to another. And that's one of the really nice things about watercolour, is you can let it move around and do its thing. Adding a little bit of contrast just in the foreground there by splattering some colours on there. So this is pretty much how it's dried. So this is pretty much just as the piece is dried now, and I think it's got a lovely, if you look at the reference drawing, you know it's not the same, and I've not got any of the brick details in or anything like that, but I'm just keeping it quite simple, this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a shadow. The shadow isn't like this in the original drawing, you know, I'm completely making this up. I'm not sure whether you think it works or not. I mean, it was a fun experiment. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding in that shadow layer. Now, I know this looks very, very dark, but as I always say, you know, in these tutorials, once it's dried, it's going to lose a lot of the pigment there. It's not going to look half as dark as it does now. It might look half as dark, but you know what I mean. So I'm adding in a few little extra shadow bits. I think this, to a certain extent, would benefit from doing some details on, you know, doing a few bricks and things like that. But I want this to be a super simple one. So again, there's a little bit of the Van Dyke brown mixed with a little bit of the blue. You can use any blue of your choice, really. And then dragging across there just to create that shadow halfway along the yard there. I couldn't resist putting in some grey tiles. And there's just a couple, I'm looking at this now thinking, is that done? Because actually, I mean, you could call that, couldn't you? But I think there is a couple of tiny other little details that I will do. And that's just to add a tiny bit of green just on that, that bush there, and a tiny bit of shadow next to it. And then it's just a case of signing the thing. So yeah, I love that. It was a really fun little sketch. So if you would like this lovely little 6x4 original art piece in your home, all you have to do is 3 things. I want you to like the video, subscribe to my channel, please. That would be great. And if you just put something in the comments like, love this street drawing, that would be wonderful. And then I'll choose somebody in about a month's time after this video has been released. And I'll just choose somebody completely at random in the comments. I'll get it posted out to you. So best of luck with that, and thanks for staying to the end. Much appreciated. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.